Hey.
Oh, we started?
Okay. AI reviews.
Back up in here, yo!
How does it end? Zombieland. Double tap.
They didn't double tap. They drove a monster truck and killed a bunch of zombies.
At the end.
And then made them fall off a rooftop.
So very interesting. The whole climax of this film is they're a family. They get separated. They go on a journey to find Little Rock. They find her. They're at a place called Babylon. It's kind of like a safe haven. No guns, peace, love, and weed, buddy. And they show up there, and Tallahassee's about to part ways. He parts ways. Happens to run into a bunch of T-800s, which is hilarious that they give zombies names in this movie. Which, right, there's the Homer, the not very smart zombie at all.
They're easy to kill, but most of the time you don't even kill him because what's the point?
Because
stupid.
Once you're out of their sight, you're pretty much done. Then there's the Stephen Hawking.
The Hawking, which is the smart zombie that finds ways and rounds and still has some sort of their brain power left.
Quite a bit, because the one that they show us literally figures out how to get into a retinal scan security area.
Yes.
So
by pulling an eye out in their mouth and using it to scan.
Very smart. And then there's the ninja.
The ninja that you don't hear until you're screaming your own death.
Which we never see ever in the film, aside from that initial moment.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing, I don't know, maybe that was because he's like, let's play Name That Zombie. So I don't know, maybe that's why we don't ever see it again. And then you have the T-800 that they appropriately named because it's stronger, like a mutated version.
It's faster.
Because not really smarter, but it's focused on a single desire, which is to devour whatever it set its sights on.
Yeah.
So
like it constantly just goes after it.
If you shot it multiple times, it's going to reconstitute itself and kind of get back up. Even after getting shot in the head that first time,
double tapped.
Yep, that one gets back up, and he's like, "That was 2, right?" And the rules drop in the photo.
And then he starts shooting. It's like 5, 6,
quadruple,
7, 9. We don't have one for 9 couple, whatever. Yeah. It's just go.
So it's pretty funny. But they basically just let us know, like, hey, these zombies are super strong. So those are the ones
Which I thought was weird that they made a big point that they're hard to kill, and at the end of the movie they easily just killed a bunch of them.
From just running them over?
Or stabbing them with, shovels and
I mean, they're kind of knocking their heads off. But anyways, so to your point, in the scene behind us, they use biodiesel fuel to burn a bunch of them and blow a bunch up, and then a bunch more are still there. Rosario Dawson's character comes out of nowhere in the big monster truck, starts doing donuts, tells them that they need to ride. That ends up flipping over. They end up vacating to the High Babylon building. Woody Harrelson is kind of like a martyr, sacrificial lamb, so you think.
Yeah.
And they just follow him as he jumps off a building and grabs onto a crane hook.
Yes.
And
swings there.
Like 3 or 4 times, even pushing off one of the zombies to keep his momentum. They all plummet to their death. A police officer, which I'm going to guess maybe is like a correctional facility officer, and a prisoner are handcuffed zombies together.
Yeah.
Almost drag them down. Somehow Woody Harrelson has superhuman strength and is able to hold the weight of 2 grown men and his own body from as he's dangling
after
been
hanging for a while.
Yeah. I'm sorry, everyone. If that was me, I would have. I love you. I wouldn't have been able to hold on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It wasn't a good grip either. It's just.
He said he was slipping. I know, right? He was like barely holding on. So, anyways, overall decent movie. We like how it ended.
Yeah.
Lots of parts we want to talk about as well for spoilers. Graceland is hilarious.
Graceland's hilarious.
Tallahassee really wants to go to Graceland. They make a big point earlier on in the movie that he wants to show Little Rock. Little Rock acts like she doesn't care, but that's the first place she wants to go to with her boyfriend. Berkeley, who is a pacifist.
He's a hippie.
You know that from the trailers.
He's a hippie, plain and simple.
And a poser. He's literally singing cover songs of everyone popular that he hopes that the younger girl doesn't know.
Yeah.
but she clearly knows. What else? And then when they get to Graceland,
it's burnt to the ground, Joe.
Somehow though, there is was it Hound Hotel?
Yeah.
Just
Hound Dog Hotel.
like a block or two away. That
Electricity
somehow has
and neon lights.
all the memorabilia that would probably be in Graceland is in that hotel.
Well, she might have ran there and saved it from the fire.
That's what we think. That possibly either Rosario Dawson is such a huge Elvis fan, or her character anyway, her character's name is Nevada, that Nevada's character is such a huge Elvis fan that it's possible that she either A, saved everything from being burnt, B, such a huge Elvis fan, took everything in the first place and put it in the place where she wanted to stay.
And then burn the place down.
And then burn the place down.
Yes.
So no one else will find it. Funny moment with the blue suede shoes.
Yes.
Tallahassee's character, Woody Harrelson's like, you're going to respect him because Columbus is like kind of messing with the shoe at first.
He's like, don't touch it.
He's like, don't touch it. He's like, respect. He's like, the man's dead. Well, I mean, probably, more than likely. And then he's like, no, for me. And he's like, oh. And like, he goes to put his shoe on, which I don't know how he figured out from that he meant that he wanted him to put the shoe on.
By putting his foot up?
Yeah. So I'm like, okay. And they don't fit.
Yeah.
And then so Columbus is like, what are the odds? It's a perfect fit. Are you mad right now that Elvis is wearing the same shoe size as me? No. It's not that they're actually Elvis's shoes. Actually Elvis's shoes. So it was hilarious that he got him on that one because he was super pissed that he was able to wear Elvis's shoes. Because to him, Elvis is the king. Okay. The king of kings, according to him. Super hilarious. Anywho.
And what saves his life at the end of the movie? Elvis's gun.
The gun that Elvis gave Nixon? Is that who it was?
Yeah, he gave Nixon. Yeah. His personal gun he used to shoot in the backyard that he gave to Nixon.
So funny. What else was in there? Oh, Luke Wilson's character, the doppelganger of Tallahassee, and then Thomas Middleditch, who is Jesse Eisenberg's Columbus doppelganger, who is Flagstaff. And I forget what was Luke Wilson's character's name in that one. I'm not gonna remember. Albuquerque.
Yeah.
Albuquerque and Flagstaff basically team up, and they basically almost mimic exactly Columbus and Tallahassee's partnership, which is hilarious to me because Flagstaff has commandments.
Yes.
And Columbus has rules.
Yeah.
And then what does Columbus say to Flagstaff?
It's like, I mean, I have rules. I don't know something just as biblical as yours, but
he's like, oh, they're all fancy, godlike references. So, and then they kind of make it a little like, well,
comparing
my rule. He's like, not that we're in competition or anything. Yeah. He's like, what are some of your rules?
Yeah.
Oh, not that we're in competition or anything. What's one of your commandments? So they kind of go back and forth, and cardio is top of his list, and then for the other guys, lower on his list, like number 10. And then he's like, oh, I limber up, and the other guy's like, warm up. And then he says like, perishable foods. Yes. And then like Ziploc bags. And he's like, yeah, I wasn't ever a big name of. I try to stay away from using brand names because don't want to get into the whole naming thing. And then they show Ziploc bag, but it has a trademark next to Ziploc. So kind of a funny thing there. The fact that they referenced The Walking Dead was hilarious. Because Columbus is like reading a Walking Dead comic, and he's like, "That is frightening." Completely unrealistic, though. And then earlier on too, or later on, I should say, like middle way when they introduce Rosario Dawson's character, when she's like, "You're lucky, I almost married you."
Like, what'd you say?
And then Columbus's character is like, "I'm sorry, did you say murder?" And she's like, "No, married, like the famous actor Bill Murray. Someone killed him, thinking that he was a zombie." What? That's crazy. I heard something about that on the news. I don't think that really happened though. I think that's a rumor. It's just a rumor. No, somebody killed Bill Murray, and if I ever find out who did it, I'm gonna murder them. Yeah, I'm gonna murder them too. I mean, if you murder him first,
but whatever.
Whatever.
I was like, he's killed more celebrities than cocaine.
Oh man, lots of jokes and references there. Because supposedly Bill Murray did a lot of cocaine when he was younger doing his stand-up in other films. But anyways, that leads me into the whole post-credit scenes.
Well, before we get to close credits, who steals the movie we can talk about?
Madison,
who creates a nice little love triangle in this situation because the girl's leaving.
Leaves him again!
Yes.
With another freaking note! Like she does in the first one.
Yeah.
And says that, oh, hey, I'm bad at notes.
I'm bad at goodbyes and I'm bad at notes.
But I'm leaving you a note to tell you.
Yeah.
And then what does her sister do to her? Leaves her a note and takes off.
Yeah, with Berkeley.
Yep.
I'm like, oh, you'll see it. So they're basically gone for a month, and while they're gone for a month,
He runs into Madison.
He meets Madison
At a mall.
At a mall.
As he's sampling candles.
And she's
at Bath
very
and Body Works.
interested in him.
Because he's saying, hey, the zombie apocalypse smells, okay? And this is like the saving grace for my nostrils. And she happens to be in there.
Yeah.
And she smells like candles. And she's not the brightest.
Because she's been living in a freezer.
But to Columbus's point, when Emma Stone's character finds out about them dating, or having sex basically, in the car, and he's like, what was the first thing you did to me? Oh, that's right. Point a gun and steal my car.
Like, Madison, what did we do the first time you met me?
She's like, I told you you were really smart, and then I had sex with you. And he's like,
Yeah. Yeah, they basically showed up to her, and she's like, oh, this is the Oval Office. Why do they call it the Oval Office?
And he's like, Woody Harrelson's character's like, okay, she stayed alive because zombies are after brains. And she doesn't have any. So, which you guys kind of saw in the trailer, which is good because even though there were some jokes in the trailer, they were kind of taken out of context and out of order, and they were applied differently.
Yes.
Like when he's like, "You'll die first. Thank you for your sacrifice." In the trailer, they clip it together so it looks like they're talking about Madison, but they're not talking about Madison. They're talking about the hippie guy that's in Babylon, who is a very big fan of group sex apparently.
It's like, it's not allowed, no group sex. I mean, you guys are trying to have group sex? We could. So, okay.
We're all gonna die. Let's have group sex.
Yeah.
They're like, no.
Yeah. And Madison's like, yay. We're gonna have sex? Because if not, I'll bite the bullet and get the old
man. Yeah.
The old man.
And Jesse Eisenberg character's like, I can't let you go have sex with Woody Harrelson. Let's do this.
I guess I'll take one for the team.
Yeah, Woody Harrelson's down there is like, his saying is nut up or shut up. And so he's like, there's a lot of nut up going on up there, but I don't hear any shut up. So, again, call back to his saying, funny, ha, laugh.
And then after that all happens, Wichita comes back. And then that creates a nice little dynamic because now she's back.
Wearing his Law and Mordor nerd shirt.
Yes.
Which, did you see earlier he was wearing a Dragon Lair shirt
Yes.
too?
Yes, I did.
Pretty funny. And and his sarcasm when they're having fake Christmas, and she gives him a first edition Lord of the Rings, and he's like, oh my gosh, a first edition Lord of the Rings.
That you decided to write.
That you decided to write your name all over.
And my name. Permanently.
To keep this pristine paper. Okay, thank you. Clearly upset that she did that.
Yeah.
But still thanked her for it.
Yeah.
Because it's the thought.
It's the thought. And then he engaged, she asked her to marry him with the Hope Diamond.
Right? Man.
Here's a Hope Diamond. You marry me?
And she's like, okay, my whole thing is, I'm like, even in the world of zombie apocalypse, why would you have a problem with commitment? There's no one else that you're going to run into.
It might end in divorce. He's like, there's no lawyers.
There's no lawyers. We're going to get the lawyers for it. Right? I mean, we're going to get the people to marry you in the first place.
Yeah.
Right? So that...
the marriage probably end by one of them being eaten by a zombie anyways. Or turning into a zombie, which I thought Madison turned into a zombie.
But I suspected, as I said it out loud in the theater, and the lady next to me goes, right? I thought it was allergy too.
Yeah. She started changing. I thought when she started saying she can't do her tongue, I was like, it's probably allergic reaction.
That, and then the other giveaway too, telltale sign, was like her face started to change like a lot. Like her eye got swole up and bigger, and we hadn't seen any other anyone else transition from like regular person to zombie with that much going on facially. And you're just kind of thinking like, they had the whole reference to, he's like, time to go show Lenny the bunnies.
Yeah. He's like, stare at the flower, yo.
Yeah, he's like, this is one of those moments that's gonna define me. I can either grow from it. What do you say?
Grow from it or run from it.
Grow from it, run from it, or like be crippled by it. Yeah. He's like, time to show Larry funny. And he walks out there, and then later on, she's like, hi, and they're like, no way. And she's like driving, and they're like, look forward.
Because they hear the gunshots, and they think she's dead, and then he's like, hey.
She's like, hey, when you shot over my head, I was trying to tell you that it was my allergies. And then everyone's looking at him like, so you didn't kill her?
He's like, well, I thought I was just scare her off.
Yeah, he's like, I was trying to scare her off. And she's like, I appreciate that. She's like, yeah, I thought to myself, hey, you survived in a cold freezer. And so how did you survive in a cold freezer? Get an ice cream truck and be in a mobile freezer. And then Emma Stone character's like, I can't actually get mad at that logic. With a hint of sarcasm there because it makes sense what she's saying, but it's stupid at the same time. So for her logic, it's actually pretty sound.
That's how I survived. So I'm gonna keep it going.
Sound. It was pretty sound logic. Which I still feel I felt bad for her character when that scene came out initially because you're like, oh, she saved Emma Stone. She proved that her mace, having mace all the time, works. Apparently, it stops zombies long enough for someone else to shoot them.
Or for her to run away.
For her to run away because, she does yoga and she's fast. Super fast.
Yeah.
So that was really hilarious to me. And they also made a point to talk about traveling light, which Woody Harrelson's character does not pack any of her luggage.
Yes.
Except for like one bag.
I'm gonna pull the van up. Like, my luggage in the van. No, it wasn't.
Or when she's like, no guns allowed. And he's like, what? You can't be serious. He's like, well, you can wait in your car.
And it was like, on fire.
Because he blew it up with a grenade. I'm not sure why he was just like,
yeah,
I know he hated the van so much.
Much.
Man, his character makes things difficult. Anything else you want to talk about in this one?
This the Bill Murray at the end, going to work.
Going to town. Beating up zombies left and right.
Pull out a chair and gave us like the smackdown.
And then says, just another Monday.
I ain't afraid of no ghost.
Which is funny because that young girl was like, I love your movies! Zombie attack!
It was like, oh, she's dead.
And Al Roker,
yeah,
wanting him to do, they were supposedly interviewing him he's doing press for Garfield 3, which they never made. But in this universe, apparently, they were about to do Garfield 3.
Yes.
And he's like, do the hairball. Apparently that's like a big thing. I'll be honest with you, I never really thought much of his role as Garfield.
Yeah. But
apparently, a lot of people liked him as Garfield.
I guess so. I'm
not in that majority of people. I literally reference Bill Murray from like, What About Bob, and Ghostbusters.
Yes. I'm sailing.
Probably about it, to be honest with you. I know he's been in other things. I know this, but literally those are the ones. Oh, Groundhog Day. Yep, that's a good one too. Yeah, those are probably the only ones I really reference. Caddyshack, that's a classic. But not so much that one. I feel like his role in that one is not as big. What else? Yes, that's probably going to be all for me. Anything else you want to mention?
I think we covered it all.
Excellent. All right. So once again, thank you for liking, commenting, and subscribing. We appreciate you all.
Yeah.
And we'll see you on the next one.
Share it to everybody.
Peace.